you've been watching me for a while, you know that I live life to the fullest. That my whole reason for being out here, like so many of us who live in RVs and vans, is really to get away from a lot of the things that we felt like suppressed us or held us back in modern society. And for me, one of those things is I wanted to be able to go as remote as possible, and I also wanted to be able to have as many comforts of home as possible. And so a Class C is what I chose to live in. And yeah, I take my Class C on some pretty rough roads, but for me, that's part of the excitement of living this life. It's about being free to not worry about a little damage to the corner. It's about being free from the confines of what society tells us we're supposed to look like. And for me, it's about not having to be a slave to my possessions. And, I'm not really too concerned about what my RV looks like. What I'm concerned about is living my life no holds barred. I want to be able to go where I want to go and take my home with me. And so sometimes that means you get a little banged up, but that's okay. That's also part of the adventure. That's what these are for. Part of living a nomad life is learning how to go with the flow. Learning to, what's the word? Dolores Claiborne, I think, the movie with, Kathy Bates, and there's a line in that movie that says, no, it's point of no return, I think, and what's her name? Bridget Fonda. I don't worry about the little things, or something like that. But I don't worry about the little things. I worry about, or I guess worry isn't even the right word, my philosophy on life, my mindset is to be free of the things that confined my life, that confined me, that kept me sad and unfulfilled before. And one of those things was ego and image. And I've talked about this before, and I've talked about that in relation to my natural looks and why I've chosen to go natural, let my hair go gray, not wear makeup, not shave, and all of those other things, because for me, this part of my life is about being true and natural and 100% human, bumping into things, hitting rocks, dragging the ground, and saying, yeah, this is my home, and I'm living my life how I want to live it, and I don't care about keeping it shiny, spanking, brand new, because honestly, the cost of keeping my RV brand new and free from damage is too high. For me, the cost of never getting dinged, never getting bumped, never getting bruised is driving on the freeway, interstates, maybe not always interstates, going from RV park to RV park. That's not a fulfilling life for me. It might be a fulfilling life for you. And keeping your RV brand new, no scratches in the paint, no bumps in the bumper, might be what makes you happy, but that's not what makes me happy. What makes me happy is pushing my boundaries, seeing what I'm made of, driving through a wash that people even in trucks or Jeeps might think twice about doing, and then getting to the other side and saying, you're damn right I did it, and look at where I get to be. I think we have two choices. We can live in fear, or what's the Brene Brown, or we can live courageously. And I want to take it a step further. We can live in fear, or we can live in freedom. I honestly don't think they go together. I don't think you can have full freedom if you've got full fear. In order to stay safe and in order to survive, you have to have a healthy sense of fear. But I think fearing that you're going to put a little dent in your bumper, fearing that I'm going to ruin the trim and that water's going to get in and it's going to swell up, that's no life. That's not a life for me. All right. I have a lot to say on this subject, but right now I need to get to work and I need to get to fixing things. This is what life looks like on the road. This is what life looks like as a nomad. Whether I live in an RV or a house, things need to be fixed. If you live in a house, you might call the plumber. Living on the road, especially the way I do, I'm going to learn how to do body repair so that I don't have to drive around with duct tape on. I'm going to do the best I can. It's not going to be perfect. It may not be the way you would do it, but it's what's going to work. And in the end, I'm going to save myself thousands of dollars doing it myself. The main goal, let me manage your expectations here before I even begin. My goal isn't to make it look perfect. My goal isn't to make it look brand new. My goal really isn't even to fix like what it looks like. My goal is to prevent further damage. And that's really the only reason I'm doing this today. By having the trim break away from the body, by having a crack in the fiberglass, I am exposing the wood walls of the RV. And by exposing the wood walls, when I'm in rain or if I'm in snow, the water gets in, the wood is going to swell, it's going to get soft, it's going to start rotting away, it's going to create long-term damage. That's really the only reason I'm fixing this. Cosmetically, I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. I drove around with duct tape on Matilda for a year. Had a broken window for 6 months covered with a tarp and duct tape. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do a whole other video on the cost of, what's the word I'm looking for? Vanity. The cost of vanity. I've been giving a lot of thought to that. Maybe that'll be my next video. But my goal isn't to make it look perfect. My goal is to prevent further damage. And I'm going to do it using spray foam, my power tools a little bit, and a turn-on tape and some die-core. And we're going to get this puppy fixed up and hopefully prevent any future damage and practice for the next time I ground out going through a wash. I tried to make it to Lake Mead, and on freecampsites.net it said 4x4 recommended, but there have been lots of reviews of vans out here and passenger cars, so I thought I'd be able to make it. And I talked my buddy Bob into coming out here with me, and he just had a little bit of a scary situation. Bob and I are still, we've been traveling together on and off since the RTR. I went up to Mojave for a while and he stayed, and we've kind of been together, I think, about a week now. And I think we have about another week before we part ways again, for those of you, the inquiring minds who want to know. But I wanted to show you this because the last video was of a road that I did drive on and that caught me off guard. But there are a lot of roads that I travel on that I decide to turn around and not drive on, and this is one of them. So, but I had to show you the views here. And this is one of the roads that they say 4x4 recommended. There's Bob. I don't know, you probably can't see, but that road going up, actually even I have to turn around here, which is going to be a little tight, but I'm not worried about it. At least there was a place to turn around. And this road just deteriorates. It's very narrow. It rides a ridge for a couple of miles. It's a 4x4 road for sure. So I'm just going to turn around on this one. But for those of you who worry about me and you know, again, think that I take crazy, unnecessary risks. Am I a risk taker? Absolutely. Do I take risks that could harm me or my life? No. But if if Phoenix gets a little body damage, that's just collateral damage that comes with this lifestyle. Anybody who's been living on the road for a while, boondocking, living on public lands, living not in RV parks, knows that dings and scrapes and bumps and bruises are a part of life. It's just part of our reality, and it's not a big deal. We take it with a grain of salt. I take as good a care of my home as I can, but still not settle for a life less than the life that I want to live. And this is the life I want to live. And a cracked bumper isn't the end of the world. It really isn't. All right, just thought I'd show you this. And let me see if I can show you the road I need to go back down that I came up. Well, let me see. I'll show you. Right there. You see the road. You don't see the other side of it. Here, I'll walk up and show you. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I'm disappointed that we couldn't make it out to Lake Mead. But I'm really only here because I needed to run up to Vegas for supplies. I want to go to Whole Foods. I need to go to Costco and do a couple other errands. So that's why I ran up to Vegas before I go to my next spot. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's Wednesday, and I was planning on staying at Lake Mead for a day or two and editing a video tomorrow for tomorrow night, but I'm not going to be able to. So you're going to get a raw video. I'll put this together, maybe with a little talk I had yesterday while I fixed my bumper, and we'll call that a day. Show you some of the real life nitty gritty of my life, right? Some of you can handle it. Some of you obviously can't. Look at how beautiful this is. I wish I could camp right here. We have 5 bars of 4G. Actually, I need to get away from that, though. That's going to be my goal. I realized a couple days ago, I have not had one single day off. Not one since I started YouTube. I'm either shooting, editing, responding, engaging with my community, comments, emails, or all of the above every single day. And I'm working on changing that. I'm getting pretty burnt out. And an obvious sign that I'm getting burnt out is when I start engaging with negative people and trolls. And I've seen a little bit of that the last couple of days, so that's always a sign that it's time for me to take a step back and take some time off. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that subject. But the rest of you, I haven't told you lately how much I love you. I did a little post on the community section of YouTube this morning, just to kind of explain something to some of you. And the love I got was just, was just amazing. My core audience, you just really help me out a lot. And your moral support and your encouragement helps me, it cheers me up, it lifts me up, it keeps me going. It helps me realize that the world isn't bad and ugly and angry and mean. That it's just a small percentage of the people who are. And I think, you know, that's part of what is so hard for me, I think, to deal with on a daily basis, is just how mean people are. Just how downright mean. Mean, nasty, for no reason. People could be quiet. People could go on their day. But they choose to be mean. They choose to take time out of their precious lives to write a comment for the sole purpose of being mean and tearing somebody else down. And I don't understand that. And it makes me sad. Not just for me, not just for you, but for humanity. I don't know. Okay, I may not leave this in. We'll see. I gotta get turned around and get out of here. Bye! Okay, I made it down, so I thought I'd show you Bob coming down. That's the last section of it. Not bad. So a road like this, like, I'll often explore it for a while just to see how it is, but remember I said always make sure I have a place to turn around, and I did, and I explored further on foot, and the road deteriorated and decided I couldn't go forward. So no big deal, I turned around and now I'm going back. All right, home sweet home. This isn't a bad place for a layover, is it? These are some of my favorites, actually. Just one night layovers, and you kind of get up and you really get to feel like a nomad. It's really kind of cool. And this is where we ended up. I've got King of the Mountain over here. See him? King of the Mountain. Not a bad place to end up. Disappointed I didn't get to Lake Mead. I think next time I come to Lake Mead, I might actually have to follow the camping signs. And maybe go pay a few bucks to camp. That wouldn't kill me if I want to go to Lake Mead. But check out the views. Look at that. Behind me. That might be a nice walk in a little while. And the mountains here are just so surreal. They don't even look real. I'm on my cell phone, so you're not going to be able to pick it up too much. Okay, So that's what the adventure looks like. I'm not used to having an audience while I shoot, and Bob's just looking at me, so that's why I keep looking over there. You want to add something?
Having a good time.
He said having a good time. This is all part of the adventure, right?
Absolutely.
Tell them that a broken bumper is not the end of the world.
No big deal.
Tell them that this is just what we do.
What would life be without it?
What would life be? I love that. What would life be without broken bumpers? Boring! And on that note, I'm going to be quiet and turn off the camera. See you later. Bye.